Breaking news at this hour. This video just into the WHAS11 newsroom. Louisville Metro Police are on the scene investigating reports of a person stabbed in West Louisville. This right here is happening on West Galbert Avenue near 28th Street. That's in the Park Duval neighborhood. We don't know yet the extent of the injuries. We do have a reporter and a photojournalist on the scene. More details as soon as we get them.
And take a look at this. The stabbing the afternoon happened just a few blocks away from where a teenager was shot this morning, also on West Galbert Avenue. This is just next door in the Algonquin neighborhood. LMPD officers found a teen boy with multiple gunshot wounds and took him to the hospital, where we learned he died this afternoon. If you have any information about either of these cases, you can call the anonymous tip line at 574 LMPD.
And now more local news here tonight at 5. Louisville Metro Police confirmed to us that they're going to start enhancing their presence along 4 major roadways starting tomorrow night. It's all part of an effort led by the Louisville Metro Council to make areas around late night bars safer. Tonight, Isaiah Kim Martinez is getting input from a longtime Highlands business that's already upped their own security.
Because from 2 to 4, we used to be the busiest. It used to be the best time, you know.
Running a long-time successful business.
This is supposed to be a fun industry, and it's not fun anymore.
In the midst of persistent violent crime across the city.
Used to go out in the schoolyard and just fight it out and, you know, one-on-one. And then now, get a gun out, shoot them.
John Dant, owner of the Back Door for nearly 40 years, shows me the surveillance system surrounding his bar. The cameras he says Metro Police often use as a reference.
You know, there was a shooting over here several weeks ago. They actually used that video, see exactly it go down, you know. It was a meeting place. It's not the bars, it's just the people. The people have no value for life anymore. It's pretty damn scary.
They're the measures Dant takes to keep his business secure, and now we'll be getting some more help.
We wanted his perspective on some of the latest measures the city has made to increase safety and how he feels the overall violence has impacted businesses in this area.
People aren't out after 2 a.m. hardly anymore anyway, just because everybody's pins and needles.
LMPD says their newest effort to expand their presence along Bardstown Road and other busy streets starts Wednesday night. It's a move Dant welcomes.
The more they have out, the better off we are. It makes the citizens feel more safe, you know, for those that are afraid to go out. That's a little peace of mind.
It comes as the city has rolled out a zero-tolerance noise policy, with the mayor even suggesting all bars to consider closing by 2 a.m.
Several businesses, obviously, that you all are aware of that they're pinpointing on as far as noise ordinance and all this other, but those are the ones they need to concentrate on, not the ones that are abiding by the law.
The hope is for fewer distractions so customers can breathe easy.
I'm stressed out, but I love it. I love the people.
And small business owners can make a living. In Louisville, Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS11 on your side.
We also asked Louisville Metro Police where these extra officers are going to come from, given the ongoing staffing shortage for LMPD. A spokesperson told us the patrols will be covered by officers already working in that division and others who are on overtime.
Right now, LMPD is looking for the driver of a red pickup truck suspected in a Sunday night hit and run on Cambridge Drive right near Iroquois Park. Police say 70-year-old Deborah Richardson was riding on her moped when she was hit head-on and killed. Grace McKenna talked to her family today, now sharing their message and her memory.
Deborah Richardson's family tells me she was just a few houses down from her own home when she was hit and killed. They spoke to me today, saying they don't want any other family to go through what they are.
Police say 70-year-old Deborah Richardson was hit and killed on Cambridge Drive late Sunday night. Her daughter, Lynn Lockhart, says Deborah was riding her moped back from the store, just a block or two from home. According to LMPD, the driver, believed to be in a red pickup, drove off. Lockhart says the street is a well-used cut-through and people often speed. She's hoping LMPD's investigation will find the person responsible and bring a sense of justice to her family.
I don't want it to be just, oh gosh, that was a tragedy on the street, and then something else comes along and nobody remembers who she was, what she did for people, and that her life would just be ended in that way and nothing further get carried through.
Lockhart remembers her mom as an incredibly kind person, someone who would feed and clothe those in need, and had a passion for helping people dealing with addiction.
Today, Lynn is making the final arrangements for her mom, and she does remain hopeful that LMPD will find the person responsible. In Louisville, Grace McKenna, WHAS11, on your side.
If you have any information about this case, LMPD asks that you call the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD. Of course, you can also use the online portal.
More local news here. The man whose house could be burned down by the city of Louisville was in court today and his bond lowered by a judge. We're talking about Mark Hibble. He's accused of storing dangerous chemicals in his home in the Highview area of Jefferson County. 53-year-old Hibble was arrested back in July when investigators say he admitted to making and detonating homemade explosives there. His house and a neighboring property on Applegate Lane were found full of chemicals and junk. Police describing it as a hoarding situation. Today, his attorney addressed those allegations, saying he did have a mental health condition. He asked that Hibble be released to a social worker with Wellspring so he could start inpatient treatment. But the county prosecutors argued back, saying he was too dangerous to be released.
We think that he is still a danger to this community. I think that, as Mr. Brzezinski said, everything he owns is in that house. The Commonwealth has great concern that if he is given any bond modification, that he will try to return to that house. Am I right?
Now in court today, the judge did agree to part of Hibble's request. She dropped his bond, lowered it from $50,000 to $10,000. If he's released, he'll be on home incarceration. It'll be required to be assessed, looked over by Wellspring.
Question of what he had and how he was using it, and we're fleshing that out, Judge. And I think there is probably going to be a legitimate legal question as to what those activities amount to in terms of wanton endangerment or not. But Judge, in terms of a bond motion and whether he presents a danger to the public, that's simply not there. He had failure to appear.
Now, as for his home on Applegate Lane, his attorney entered a motion to preserve the evidence to save his belongings from damage. Metro Louisville Emergency Management is still waiting for the EPA to decide on a course of action for that home. The decision on whether to burn it down or remove the chemicals mechanically is expected later this week.
A man charged with rape that happened last month was in court today, and so was the police detective on the case, revealing the trail of evidence they say led to the suspect. According to police, Sean Miles allegedly followed the victim down May Lawn, punched her in the face, and then assaulted her. The victim called police and reported him, giving a detailed description. After the attack, the victim took to social media, and eventually neighbors came forward with ring camera footage allegedly showing Miles following the victim and then running from the scene. This led police to Sean Miles.
The nature of these charges indicates extreme danger to this community and to this victim. This bond is appropriate as charged or as is currently set.
He is facing charges of first-degree rape, fourth-degree assault, and he's being held on a $100,000 bond.
And also new here tonight, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is back on the floor of the U.S. Senate. He was speaking there today as lawmakers are back from their summer holiday. And new tonight, another update from McConnell's D.C. doctor. No evidence of a stroke or seizure. The attending physician in Congress says a series of tests revealed that there is no evidence of a greater health issue for the senior senator. Last week, McConnell froze during a press conference, not answering a question, instead staring off for about 30 seconds. Eventually, his staff stepped in and escorted him away. It's the second time, as you know, something like that has happened to Mitch McConnell since July. Today, McConnell spoke on the Senate floor for the first time since that latest episode.
I'm glad to welcome our colleagues back from the August work period. Spending time back in our states with the folks we represent isn't just part of our job. More than anything else, it's what allows us to be effective here in Washington.
Today, McConnell's team shared a letter from Dr. Brian Monahan detailing the numerous tests McConnell has had since last week, including an MRI, EEG, and comprehensive neurology assessment. He said in part, there is no evidence that you have a seizure disorder or that you experienced a stroke, TIA, or movement disorder such as Parkinson's disease, end quote. The doctor also said there are no changes in treatment needed for Mitch McConnell, saying this is part of recovery from the concussion that he suffered in March.
Today, a major groundbreaking in West Louisville, the fourth and final phase of the Beecher Terrace revitalization project.
1, 2, 3.
A big moment there. Beecher Terrace is a public housing development first built back in the 1930s, running between 9th, Muhammad Ali, Jefferson, and 12th Street. 7 years ago, the city announced they would be transforming the distressed buildings to a new community that was sustainable, walkable, and amenity-rich with local businesses and green space.
It took a lot of people to step into the initial role and the interim roles, and there'll be people at the end of the day, but understand it really took everybody to make something like this happen.
This final edition will feature 210 new apartments, a variety of affordable housing and market rate units. It will also include 5 live-work units featuring commercial businesses on the first floor right there along Muhammad Ali. The construction starts this month. It is expected to be complete in 2025.